Hey guys, it's Ernesto. Welcome back to yet another video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm having a wonderful day. I'm making this video today because of a question that I received on the YouTube channel. And that question was submitted by a gentleman by the name of, well, I'm not even sure if it's a gentleman or a lady, but it was submitted by a person by the name of Amateur Photographer. So the question that he submitted is the following. All right, so let's start with the flash, right? So the reason why the flash is working so hard or is not working at all is because it seems like the ISO is capped at 400. Now, when I saw the question, the first thing that came to my mind is program mode. And the reason program mode came to mind is because there's a setting on the 5D Mark III where you could basically say, look, I don't want my ISO to go beyond a certain amount. You could basically set a range. You could basically set it between 100 and 6500 or whatever the amount that you want to push it to, right? So you could set that range. So basically, when I saw that question, I said, okay, maybe he has his camera in program mode, and perhaps he also has that range, his ISO range, from 100 to 400. And that's probably why it's being capped when, he's trying to take images within a venue, right? And I'm assuming it's in a venue because he's basically trying to get it to push beyond 400 because he's recognizing that it's being capped at 400. So that's my first thing. So basically, if you are going to continue to shoot in program mode, which I highly don't recommend at all. So what I would recommend is if you're going to continue to utilize program mode, which if I'm correct, and that is what you're using, my first suggestion is to get off of program mode. Don't use program mode at all. Utilize your aperture priority or shutter priority, or manual, which is what I use, and I would highly recommend that you use manual. So here's what I would suggest first thing. So if you're going to continue to use program mode, go into your menu settings, right, in your camera. So I have my 5D here, okay? So go into your menu settings. So off of the main menu, right, the main menu on your 5D Mark III, in the sub menu, which is the second sub menu, there's an option in there called ISO speed settings, right? Now in the ISO speed settings, there's an auto ISO range that's from 100 to 6400 or whatever settings that you want to set it to, right? But there's that range. So my guess is your range is currently set from 100 to 400. So I would suggest that you basically bump that up to something that you're comfortable with. I would recommend around like 6400 is fine, that should be fine for 5D Mark III. I generally don't try to push mine beyond that, but if I have to, I will. But that's a comfortable setting that you can put it to. So then another thing that I would suggest with respect to the shutter speed, because you did mention that your shutter speed was also, below a certain amount and was causing the images to be blurry. So my suggestion here is basically to put your shutter speed to something a little bit more comfortable. 1/60th of a second is pretty much of a good shutter speed to be at, or higher. It all depends on where your comfort level is, but just keep in mind, the higher you put your shutter, the less ambient light that you will get in your image. So if you are in a venue and you're shooting, like let's say a reception or something like that, and you're trying to get all that ambient light in the room, if you're using a high shutter speed, you're not going to get much ambient. So just keep that in mind. So my suggestion is probably to keep your shutter at 1/60th of a second. So basically don't have your shutter drop below that amount. It could go higher, but don't have it drop below that amount. So that's what I would suggest there. So I was testing this before I started this video, and I noticed that this feature only works within program mode. It doesn't seem to work within AV mode. It doesn't seem to work within shutter. So shutter priority, that is. So my suggestion, like I said before, get off of program mode if that's what you're on, and just utilize AV mode or shutter priority mode. Ultimately, I would say get into manual so you don't have to utilize AV or shutter, because that's all I utilize, manual. I don't utilize any one of those modes. Even on a wedding is all manual. So that's what I would suggest. But if you need to get to that comfort level, you know, ramp up to manual, utilize AV or shutter. All right, so guys, that's it. That was the quick video that I wanted to make just to address that question. And my hope is that question will basically be able to help out other people out there that may be having the same issue as amateur photographer. So if this video was helpful to you guys, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Please put some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a different answer to the one that I have. Because if you have a different answer and that answer, you know, makes sense, then it will be helpful to anyone else that's viewing this video, not only to the amateur photographer, but it will be helpful to other people as well. So guys, also please share this video with your friends and family if you think it will help them. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet and you got this far in the video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.